Look, we've all heard the rule, right? Handing massive inherited wealth to your kids, well, it completely destroys their drive, it ruins the family business. That is the famous Carnegie conjecture, and honestly, the business world treats it as a universal truth. But Japan actually found a loophole. It is a bizarre, completely ruthless loophole that allows family-owned companies to absolutely crush professionally managed firms. So let's dive into exactly how they pull this off.
Think about this very real Japanese adage for a second. You can't choose your sons, but you can choose your sons-in-law. That single sentence completely shatters our standard, sentimental view of blood inheritance, doesn't it? When a Japanese business family has a daughter, it's actually a massive celebration, and you might be wondering why. Well, because it means an opening for a highly capable, hand-picked son-in-law. The contrast here is staggering. I mean, we all know the Western trap, that universally accepted myth of the totally incompetent third-generation heir who just runs a massive empire right into the ground. Inherited wealth deadens talent. But the Japanese reality? It defies this completely. In post-war Japan, family firms run by heirs don't just survive, they actively outperform regular, non-family companies. So, how is that scientifically possible?
Section 1. Japan's secret adult adoption.
Get this. Japan processes roughly 80,000 adoptions every single year. But here is the massive plot twist. 98% of them are not children. They are fully grown adults. 98%. It's almost unheard of anywhere else in the world, but over there it is a highly calculated corporate strategy.
Enter the Muko Yoshi, the adopted husband brother. We are talking about a fully grown man selected purely for his merit. His sole purpose? To step in, replace incompetent biological blood heirs, and run the family empire. This system aggressively, and I mean aggressively, prioritizes raw corporate talent over biological bloodlines.
Let's look at how this plays out in reality with the Suzuki Motors succession timeline. As you'll see, the exact steps are highly orchestrated. Back in 1958, Osamu Matsuda was just a 28-year-old bank employee. He wasn't born a Suzuki, but he was recruited, legally adopted by the Suzuki patriarch, married to the patriarch's daughter, and then methodically groomed to become the CEO of a global automaker. He literally earned his bloodline.
Section 2. The data. Adoptees win.
Families using this system are tapping into an absolutely elite talent pool. These adopted heirs aren't just random guys. They are star employees. They are top-tier university graduates. Instead of just crossing their fingers and hoping their biological kid turns out to be a genius, these business families completely bypass the unreliable genetic lottery. They find a proven genius and they simply make him their kid.
Now, researchers wanted hard numbers to prove this wasn't just a fluke, so they meticulously tracked the exact change in profitability, specifically looking at the return on assets, or ROA. They measured this immediately before and after these successions took place, basically comparing the performance of different types of heirs.
And wow, the data is absolutely humiliating for biological heirs. When a family simply cashes out and brings in a standard outside CEO, profitability goes up 1.2%. If a biological blood heir takes over, they manage a measly 0.78% bump. But when an adopted fake son takes the throne, profits surge by a massive 3.0%. Adopted sons don't just win here, they completely dominate the board.
Section 3. The threat motivates blood. The brilliant thing about this system is that it relies on dual-layered psychological warfare. First, you have the threat. Just the mere possibility that a patriarch could adopt a smarter, harder-working outsider. That absolutely terrifies lazy biological sons into getting their act together. Second, there is the prize. It creates the ultimate incentive for elite professional managers who suddenly realize they could literally inherit the entire family empire if they perform well enough.
So this effectively destroys the Carnegie conjecture we talked about earlier. The mechanism is simple, but it's brutal. It quite literally chops off the bottom tail of incompetence by displacing the least talented blood heirs. At the same time, it injects elite external talent straight into the family line. And ultimately, it creates a ruthless executive tournament. Think about it. You simply cannot afford to be lazy if your own father can legally replace you with the guy in the next cubicle.
Section 4. Flaws in the formula. Okay, but let's be real for a second. This staggering financial triumph, that 3% jump in ROA and over 5% in sales growth, it masks a truly devastating human cost. The financial data completely glosses over severe emotional trauma. Bypass biological sons are just emotionally discarded. Daughters are essentially treated as corporate assets, forced into arranged, loveless marriages with ambitious strangers, all just to secure the corporate legacy.
In fact, one daughter who was resigned to her fate said this about these ambitious adopted sons-in-law: "As outsiders, they can never be fully trusted." That is chilling, right? The psychological toll is immense on everyone involved. Even the adopted sons themselves have to sacrifice their own household name, cut ties with their ancestors, and endure deep-seated distrust from their new families, entirely for the sake of ambition and corporate power. It really is the ultimate clash: bloodlines versus the bottom line. Japan practically solved the oldest business problem in the world: how to keep a family business thriving across multiple generations without losing its competitive edge. But as we've seen, they achieved it at a severe, unyielding psychological price. Which leaves us with a staggering question to think about. If securing your family's corporate legacy meant emotionally destroying your own children to hire a total stranger, would you do it? It really forces us to completely reevaluate what extreme meritocracy actually looks like in practice. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.